What's going on, Husker fans? This is Ethan Bice. This is 4 Hours to Lincoln. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving break, or if you're still on it or whatnot. I know I did. It was a terrific Thanksgiving break, even though our sports teams over this past Thanksgiving break just didn't do too well for us. So, other than that, though, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and had plenty of food to eat. I know I did. I probably gained about 50 pounds over the weekend, but hey, it's Thanksgiving. That's what happens. Christmas, same result as well. Seems like I gain size every holiday. But anyway, so without further ado, let's get in on all the action that I missed out talking to you guys about over the course of days. My last show hasn't been since the 20th, so there's a lot of catching up to do. Some a lot of bad moments, but we had some good moments as well. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about that final football game we had, and this will be our final football talk for the rest of the season, as we just did not uh, end the season the way we wanted to. So anyway, we played the Iowa Heroes Trophy rivalry game. It all just went to shit pretty much. Um, just did not go our way, and uh, not too much I can talk about other than it just it sucks. It bites. We're going another year without a bowl. Now people are asking questions. Now we got further division on this team. Fan base just rah-rahing at each other about this. I try to stay out of that. Sometimes I, do get caught in the middle of it, but, in the end, I'd like to keep the peace. It is rough. We all knew it was going to be a rough season approaching this thing, and we just knew it wasn't going to be an easy task by any stretch. Yes, it is aggravating to see teams like Northwestern, who had problems to start the season firing Pat Fitzgerald, and then now they win 7 games this year. It's like, why can we not be one of them damn teams? Why? Luke Fickle beat us. As y'all know, he looked like he was in competition with Matt Rule get the job here at Nebraska. That just all sorts of things, and it's aggravating. It's very aggravating. I totally get it. I will be the first to tell you. When we hired Matt Rule, I was not a fan. Okay, but he is our coach now, so I am rooting for him. I don't want to root against him. I'm rooting for him. He is our coach, and I want him to win. Whoever our coach is, I want him to win. I want him to succeed. I want my Nebraska Cornhuskers to be a blue blood program again. So no matter who's coach, uh, and I don't know if it quite frankly matters, because this football team has been a mess for many, many, many years, and it still does not have an identity. Now, defensive wise, we played great, not excellent. I think that times during this Iowa game, our defense showed they were pretty underrated, because Iowa was not supposed to move the ball on us like they did, and they did. They had several key moments in this game and moved it on us, and it was quite aggravating. So to be honest, I think Tony White stays another year. I think he, at least another year. I think, like some of our players, he needs to develop too. And yeah, I think he'll be an excellent head coach someday, but I think he really needs to improve this defense and show why he should be, because you know, although the defense was the only thing that keep us in it all year. Um, but that I don't know. I'm I am sickened that we did not get the win against Iowa and get a bowl game. We were that damn close. Clock management for the third game in a row was just unbelievably stupid, to say the least. I mean, I'm honest, I I do like Matt Rule as a person, and this is year one for him. So, like I said, all year he gets a free pass, but he does not get a pass from me after this. Uh, my thing is we got to see improvement now from here on out. So this 5 game win season, we now need to see 6 next year. That's all I can say. So that and offense and defense clearly needs to improve. Our special teams wasn't too terrible this year, though, which is an important position group. I think our special teams. I mean, they did make a lot of dope-headed plays, but uh, it was more solid than the years past, especially under Scott Frost's regime. It was a lot better, and you gotta like seeing that as a Nebraska fan, to see better special teams play, um, because there's a lot of times in the years past our special teams cost us games. But this year was an improvement. I'm not saying they were the greatest thing ever, but there was improvement, and that goes a long way. So, you know, um, maybe going forward, we will see some people in the transfer portal, some recruits coming in. That'll give us some hope, I would hope. Um, but yeah, I'm not going to sit here and brag about how shitty our team is and whatnot. We all know this team needs to improve. As for the division, I do see both sides of the whole thing, I do. And like I said, I was not a fan of hiring Matt Rule to begin with. There were so many other qualified personnel. Thank God we did not get Deion Sanders. So, um, but, uh, you know, at the end of the day, Matt Rule is our coach. And, I'm going to be cheering him on. I don't want him to fail. We don't want him to fail. We can't afford that. We need him to succeed. Firing another coach means another setback. And why do you think we are so set back? Because of firing all these coaches. Now I do agree Scott Frost needed fired. That was a big. That was a given. I mean, he had 5 years here and did absolutely nothing but destroy this program. I mean, Mike Riley did a terrible job, but I think Scott Frost put a nail on the coffin. He's going to go down as one of the worst head coaches here ever. And it sucks to say that, but he really is. He's the worst ever to be the head man here. But anyway, I am done talking about football. We're done for the year. We are 5-7. Another bowlless year under football, which entirely just sucks altogether. And yeah, I am done with it. So we are moving on. And let's move on to something more positive, like basketball. Our men's basketball team is getting it done. They are 7-0 after today, after beating Cal State Fullerton. So I'll break the 2 games down. We played Duquesne on Wednesday, and on my last show, I was calling them Duke Cuisine or something like that. I did not know how to pronounce it. I only saw their team name in the ticker, so I apologize to the Duquesne University for calling them the wrong name. Now I know they're Duquesne. So anyway, let's talk about that game as we won that one on Wednesday. So Juwan Gary had 9 of his career high 20 points and 13 to 0 second half run as Nebraska improved to 6-0 for the first time since 08 and 09. with an 89-79 win over Duquesne on Wednesday night. We led 55-54 with 13:35 left before we took control behind Gary. The junior forward had 9 points in the spurt, including 5 straight points to give Nebraska a 68-54 lead. We held the Dukes scoreless for nearly 4 minutes to finally get some breathing room in the second half. Gary topped his previous high of 19 set 3 other times, hitting 7 of 10 shots from the floor, including a pair of 3-pointers, and went 4 of 4 from the line. He also added 5 boards in the win. Keisei Tominaga led Nebraska with 23 points as the Huskers put 5 players in double figures and went 28 of 31 from the foul line, including 21 and 22 in the second half. Josiah Aulick had 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, while Bryce Williams and Rink Mast added 11 to 10 points respectively. Let's see, our 89 points were its highest total since the 2001-2022 season, as we had 18 assists and just 2 turnovers, matching a school record. We eventually pushed the lead to 17 at 77-60, just under 7 minutes remaining, but were forced to withstand one last run. The Dukes used a 10-0 scoring run of their own to bring the game within 7 with 4:31 left in the game, and eventually pulled to within 78-22 with 3:55 left. That would be as close as the visitors would get, as Williams' jumper and Tominaga's 3-pointer with 3:06 left pushed the lead to 83-72. I do believe I lost that. After a back and forth opening few minutes, Duquesne took an early 16-11 with 14:21 remaining before Juwan Gary scored 7 straight points, and Jaron Coleman added a layup to help the Huskers take their first lead of the game, 20-19 with 10:31 to go in the first half. The teams then traded baskets for the next several minutes until Duquesne stretched its lead to 31-27 with a Kareem Rozier layup. Nebraska then tied the game with a Jamarcus Lawrence 3-pointer at 35-35 and a CJ Wilcher layup before Duquesne scored the last basket of the half. And then it's talking about how we return to action against Cal State Fullerton, which I'll talk about right now as we played them tonight. By the way, this video probably won't be uploaded till midnight, so you'll probably get this Monday morning. So it'd be about 7 days since my last video, which is quite a while, but as y'all understand, we had Thanksgiving break. So let's talk about Cal State Fullerton now. That was a pretty quick game, it seemed like, today. It really did, and we were in control the whole time until the very end, but let's talk about it. Rink Mast's 19 points and 9 rebounds led 5 Huskers in double figures, as we improved 7-0 with the 85-72 victory over Cal State Fullerton. Mast led a balanced attack with 19 points on 8 of 12 shooting, including 3 of 3 from 3-point range, as we improved to 7-0 for the first time since 92 and 93, and the 5th time in school history. So, going back, guys, I have said this team is going to win its first NCAA tournament victory, and I still stand by that. I really do. And not to mention, after this win, we play Creighton undefeated. Us and Creighton are both going to be undefeated coming in on Sunday, this coming Sunday, next Sunday. So not only that, but we get a nice lengthy break before then too. So it all works out well. It works out very well, and I'm very excited about that. Anyway, mass let a balance. Mentioned that already. We have scored 80 or more points in each of the last 4 games. Got 17 points from Keisei Tominaga, who hit all 5 of his shots from the field, including 3 of 3 from 3-point range. So Keisei is coming back to his old ways. His numbers ain't as high as last year, but understandably so. He's a big target. And did I mention us and Purdue are the only Big Ten teams remaining that are undefeated? So that's huge. And I really can't wait till we get to conference play. It'd be even huger if we can get another win against Creighton. That'd be 2 years in a row now, which would be unbelievable. And it'll really show where we're at. But yeah, Bryce Williams, Juwan Gary, and Jamarcus Lawrence all finished in double figures as we shot 47% from the field, which is a slight improvement. Hit a season high 12 3-pointers and had 18 assists and just 9 turnovers. So we're slightly improving. Obviously, it needs to be better percentage-wise. I'd say high 50s to very least. But yeah, maybe that'll get cleaned up. But yeah, we have got to do better. There are times though we hit this short spurt where we're just sinking buckets left and right, and then we have these lengthy minutes, and I believe we had like 5 minutes until we scored something. And thank God Cal State Fullerton could not shoot. But anyway, we were solid offensively and taking a 47-36 halftime lead. Nebraska shot 49% from the field, including 7 of 17 from 3-point range, and had 6 players score at least 5 points. Mast and Williams paced the Big Red with 11 first half points apiece. And then here it says we used a 13-3 spurt to erase an early deficit and built a 15-8 lead after Gary's 3-pointer. We eventually stretched the lead to 29-18 after a Lawrence 3-pointer with 10:09 left in the half before the Titans regrouped. Max Jones kept Cal State Fullerton in the game early with 19 first half points, including 13 straight for the visitors. Later on, the Titans used a 12-3 run to pull within 34-30 after a pair of Jones free throws with 6:04 left in the half, but would get closer as a Tominaga 3 and a Lawrence layup stretched the lead 39-30. We eventually got the lead to 13 after 2 straight masked buckets and took an 11-point lead into the break. We got some more breathing room with a 16-0 spurt to begin the second half as 3-pointers from Mast and Tominaga stretched the advantage to 53-36. Nebraska eventually extended the margin to 19 at 74-55 after a Tominaga basket with 4:51 left, but the visitors would make one last run. Cal State Fullerton scored 7 straight points in a 107 span to make it 78-67 after Jones' 5th 3-pointer of the game with 2:26 remaining. The Titan guard led all scorers with 30 points on 10 of 19 shooting and added 3 assists and 4 steals. We would eventually come right back as Williams' 3-pointer pushed the lead to 14, and Nebraska went 4 of 4 from the line in the final 1 minute and 6 seconds to steal the win. Donovan O'Day added 16 points for Cal State Fullerton, 2 and forward, while DJ Bruton added 10 points in the loss. And then we returned back to Pinnacle Bank Arena as I said, on Sunday, which will be December 3rd, to take on Creighton at 3, and it will be televised on FS1. So good luck to us on Sunday. A well-deserved break for this team as we focus on Creighton. So moving on to women's basketball now, who has really been disappointing. So on Thursday, they did defeat Lamar, which was great. Natalie Potts scored a game and career high 22 points to lead 3 Huskers in double figures as the Nebraska women's basketball team worked its way a 75-61 win over Lamar on Thanksgiving Day at the St. Pete Showcase. With the victory, Nebraska improved to 4-1 at this time, anyway. While the Cardinals slipped to 4-2 on the young season. Potts got her 22 points with remarkable efficiency, going 9 of 10 from the field, including 1 of 2 from three-point range, while also going 3 for 3 at the free throw line. All of Potts' free throws came as and ones after made baskets, including 2 in the fourth quarter to help seal Nebraska's 14-point win. Potts was also huge in the second quarter in scoring 9 big points in the period to help Nebraska flip a 25-14 deficit into a 37-31 halftime lead. She and Jess Shelley combined for the first 12 points of a 21-3 second quarter surge for the Big Red. The duo also combined for 10 straight points in the third quarter to help us withstand a Lamar surge that trimmed the margin to 49-46 with just over 2 minutes left. Shelley scored the final 5 points of the period to send Nebraska to the fourth with the 54-46 lead. Shelley finished with a season-high 17 points, including a 3 of 6 three-pointers, while sinking all 6 of her free throw attempts, and Alexis Markowski pitched in 16 points and 5 rebounds. Graduate guard Darian White also played a major role in Nebraska's success by scoring 8 points to go along with a game-high 9 rebounds and 5 assists. Potts, Shelley, and Markowski all scored in double figures despite being shackled with foul trouble throughout the game. For the contest, we hit 51% of our shots, so we were 26 for 51, including 7 of 23 three-pointers, while sinking 16 of 17 free throws. The Huskers outworked the Cardinals on the glass 38-23 to overcome a 15-10 deficit in the turnover department. We held Lamar to 43.4% shooting despite the Cardinals starting the game 11 for 13. Lamar went 5 for 22 from long range and just 10 of 17 from the free throw line. Sabrina Dean led Lamar with 19 points, while Akasha Davis and Tialia Minor each had 11 points for the Cardinals. After that, we returned and played TCU on Saturday, which, by the way, Saturday was a very disappointing day in all Husker sports so far this year. But I'll talk about that in a minute as soccer lost its Elite Eight game against Stanford, which was a tightly contested game, by the way. Played Stanford a lot tougher than I think Stanford even thought we would. And we played a great game. But let's talk about the game against TCU, which ended up being a big disappointment for our team. We cut 17 points off a 21-point second half deficit, but we could not complete the comeback in an 88-81 loss to unbeaten TCU on Saturday in the championship game of the St. Pete Showcase. With the loss, we slipped 4-2 of the season, while TCU improved to 7-0. Now, it's not a bad loss, and actually Saturday was a tough Saturday for everybody, by the way. So just because we got swept in sport doesn't mean our sports suck. We just had a very, very tough Saturday. But anyway, Jess Shelley led the Huskers with 17 points, while Darian White contributed 16 as our two graduate guards combined for 26 points in the second half to help fuel the rally after falling behind 45-25 at halftime. Alexis Markowski added her second double-double of the season with 14 points and a game-high 14 rebounds, including 10 points and 8 boards in the second half. She also earned a spot on the all-tournament team. Freshman Logan Nisley also played a major role in the rally with a career-high 11 points and just over 8 second-half minutes. Nisley hit back-to-back three-pointers late in the third quarter and added a three-point play in the fourth to move the Big Red within striking distance. Her three-point play pulled Nebraska within 80-76 with 37.1 seconds left after the Huskers trailed 48-27 early in the third quarter. Kendall Coley added a season-high 8 points on 3 of 3 shooting, including a pair of three-pointers of her own to help spark the Huskers. Coley and Nisley combined for 3 straight threes in a 1-minute span late in the third quarter to cut a 59-43 deficit to 60-52 with 2:32 left in the period. Markowski three-point play with 8:04 left in the game trimmed a margin to 66-61, but TCU pushed the lead back to 13 at 76-63 after Madison Connor's only three-pointer of the game with less than 5 minutes to play. Huskers made one more surge with back-to-back buckets by Markowski and a free throw from Shelley before a three-pointer from White. 5 straight points from Nisley then cut the margin to 80-76 with just under 40 seconds left. But Sedona Prince and Connor sank free throws down the stretch to seal the win for the Horned Frogs. Prince, who finished with 23 points and 11 rebounds, was named the tournament MVP, rightfully so. As good as Prince was, Agnes Emma Nnopu was the key element in TCU's first-half surge. Nnopu hit a career-high 6 first-half three-pointers and accounted for the entire difference of the scoreboard with 20 points. The Stanford transfer, who was averaging 7 points per game, finished with a game-high 26 points before fouling out midway through the fourth period. But, yeah, I mean, the ladies' team, they're good. They're just, they had some tough teams to play. And it's just disappointing to start out 4-2. Especially a loss to Creighton, which we should have won. But I think that most of this women's team's troubles is starting game strong. They have not been starting strong, which they really need to do, especially when it comes to conference play. That's one of our biggest flaws right now, is starting out strong and getting the wins. But we will return to Pinnacle Bank Arena on the 29th to take on the FAU Owls, of Florida Atlantic Owls. So hopefully that'll be a win for us. Now let's move on to volleyball, which Saturday was a disappointment for us. We got swept by Wisconsin. I kind of seen it coming. You know, it's Thanksgiving break. You know, these girls, they train, like John Cook said, 11 months out of a year. I mean, it's constantly volleyball to them. And they have to be missing their families. They happen to be wanting to go home and enjoy Thanksgiving with their families, you know. And I can see that. And, you know, they had to play Wisconsin on Friday, Black Friday, which was a terrible day for us, for athletics all in general, as we got swept in every sport. I'm not going to break down these games too much because, well, I got to talk about the NCAA tournament coming up. So, swept against Wisconsin on Friday, and then we scraped by Minnesota 3-1 win against them yesterday, and we just didn't look ourselves, and I can kind of see why. And I think they really just need to regroup and kind of uh, take their focus on somewhere else, maybe for a little bit until Friday when we play Long Island University. I mean, these ladies train so hard all year round. I mean, they only get a whole month, just a month to kind of do whatever they want, and then it's back to volleyball. So I can understand if they're tired, if they're fatigued. I totally understand. And um, I mean, of course, they got to keep training, but maybe a matchup against Long Island to open up NCAA play will kind of help them regroup a little bit and show why they're the number one team in the country. They took the number one overall seed today in the volleyball selection show. So congratulations to them. They rightfully earned it. We're the only one-loss team in the nation. So, uh, you know, obviously, I would think we would take that honor. But yeah, it's going to be a tough tournament. A lot of tough teams in that. I'll discuss the tournament a little later on during the week. But it looks like a tough one coming up. But yeah, so we went 1-1 for the week. You know, took our only loss of the regular season against Wisconsin, which I kind of thought that would happen. I really did. Wisconsin had our number, and Anna Smrek came back, and they came back with a vengeance. So, you know, I kind of figured that was going to happen, and it's not a big deal. You know, we already won Big Ten title. We already got the number one overall seed. I think the ladies are just tired and fatigued and just need to rest up a little bit. So, um, hopefully we regroup and then take this tournament over. So, speaking of tournaments, our beloved soccer team has finally been defeated in the Elite Eight against Stanford, which was a very fun game to watch. Despite us losing, it was a very fun game. And Stanford's a tough team. And I'll tell you what, Stanford hasn't allowed a goal since October, and we finally got one against them. So, a tough defensive team, but did allow a goal from one of our ladies. I forgot who. She might be in my notes here. Oh, yeah, Sarah Weber. Sarah Weber broke Stanford's 4-match shutout streak. Let's see. And she is now tied for first in the Husker record books with 4 finishes in the NCAA tournament. So great job by Sarah Weber. Great job by Eleanor Dale, breaking the school record for goals. She got 28 of them. So it was previously 27. She got 28 of them. Of course, she's going to be a front runner in my fall female athlete of the year, for sure. I still haven't decided on who my honorees are going to be this year, but I would say after college football season's over, I'll finally get a clear picture of who I want as my fall male and fall female athletes of the year. So we'll see. But the Husker soccer team finished 2023 season with 17 wins, their most since the 2013 season. So good job to them ladies. And hopefully next year will be a fun year as well. We do lose some talent, including Eleanor Dale. I hate that for her, but you know, it is what it is. So next week, we ain't really got a whole lot on tap either, but we did add in a volleyball game. So let's talk about that real quick. Women's basketball, as I mentioned, we'll play Florida Atlantic on Wednesday. Swimming and diving will be in the Hawkeye Invitational from Thursday to Saturday. And then our diving team is going to the Camo International Invitational. So I don't know if there's going to be Divers going to Hawkeye Invitational or not, I do not know. As the week goes on, we'll talk about that. And then wrestling on Friday, Cliff Keen Invitational. I cannot wait. It's always one of the biggest tournaments of the year. We have won like, I don't know, 5 out of the last 6 or something like that. I can't remember, but we've been winning that annually, and there's a lot of tough competition in that thing. So Cliff Keen Invitational, held in Las Vegas every year. That starts on Friday. Cannot wait for that. Of course, I'll be working during the Friday segment, the early rounds anyway, unfortunately. But it's whatever. That happens. And then also on Friday, as I mentioned earlier, women's volleyball will take on Long Island University in the round 1 of the volleyball tournament. So cannot wait for that puppy to start. Women's basketball on Saturday will take on Georgia Tech. And there'll be the You Betcha roller banner giveaway. You Betcha is Matt Coatney's catchphrase. That's always fun to hear him say. And then on Sunday, we close out the week with the basketball game against Creighton. So it's nice that the men's basketball team have a week off practically to get ready for Creighton. It's really nice. We're 7-0, playing Creighton, week off, terrific stuff. So I cannot wait for that one. It'll be a fun week for us. So that's about it for my show tonight. We'll talk about sports all through the week. I hope you are all being excellent to each other. Go Big Red.